Hello there, Peppermint Pals! Today's video, I am using the supplies in my August Art Snacks box. And yes, I know it is technically September, but I made this image in August, and it's been on my Instagram and Tumblr since then. Also, I figured I can get away with it since it's only September 1st. Like, if it was the 7th or something, I probably wouldn't have used this as the video. So one of the supplies in this month's box was some acrylic ink, and I got blue. So naturally, since I tend to be drawn to characters with some sort of a blue theme, I jumped right in and I made some fan art with my materials from this month's box. So this is actually part of a small series. So there is the lance painting that you see here with Earth. Then I also did Aiko from the Lunar Chronicles with the moon, whom I actually did first, and finally I did Lapis Lazuli from Steven Universe with some stars. And I was going to put them all together in one video, but it was over 30 minutes long, so I'm keeping it shortened and just doing the one painting here. But I may do the Aiko video, maybe for a bonus sometime. I don't know about Lapis. I wasn't as pleased with how she turned out. I still like her, but not as much as the other two. But either way, you can go check all those images out on my Instagram or Tumblr. The links to those are in the description. And if you are on Tumblr and you enjoy what I do, please reblog. It really helps me out a lot. So right now I am doing the lines on this piece with a Faber-Castell 0.7 Eco Pigment pen. It does a good job of creating nice dark lines and good line variation. The container is also apparently made with recycled material, so that's pretty cool. Oh, and there, I just made a mistake. I lined his irises, which I don't normally do in my style, but old habits die hard. So I added that to this piece, and I actually went back and added it on the Aiko piece as well, so they could have some kind of uniformity. Obviously, that's not shown in this video, but if I do upload the Aiko piece, you will see that there. Also, speaking of my style, I'm curious to see what you guys think. I recently changed my style a bit to having less detail on the nose and ears, and I like it. It seems to go well with the simpler, less realistic style of everything else. But I am curious to see how it's received. I can't guarantee feedback will cause me to dramatically change it, but it is interesting to hear other people's thoughts. So now I'm actually using the Faber-Castell pen to fill in the black areas. Well, not the outer space. You'll see how I did that later in the video. But yeah, I'm using it to get the black parts of his uniform. It is definitely not a pen for large areas. It was hard to work and left some grooves, but at least it didn't dry out. Of course, with doing the Art Snacks challenge, I was kind of limited, unfortunately. Well, I suppose I do cheat a little at the end as I use my white gel pen for the highlights in his eyes. In fact, I already used it. If you see his thumb there, just to kind of outline it around the black of his uniform. But yeah, for the most part and for the big areas, I use only what was provided to me in the Art Snacks box. So I'm just finishing up with my erasing, then it will be time for me to go in and add tones with my ink. I use the Amsterdam acrylic ink, and the color is Brilliant Blue. And I am applying it with a Princeton Velvet Touch long round number 8 paintbrush. So there are actually quite a few ways that you can use this ink. You see here on the armor, I'm kind of going straight in with the ink. I'm adding a little bit of water to the color, probably because I want the background of space to be the most saturated. But I still want the blue on the armor to be pretty bright. But you can also, of course, water it down and have a little bit softer tones, like here, what I'm doing on his face. So I decided to put Lance in his paladin armor rather than his more casual clothes because I wanted the blue areas to stand out, but also because the armor being mostly one color and that color being white, I was able to really use the ink to show the lights and the shadows. And for that reason, maybe I might like this painting the best. Like, at first I was like, oh, Ico turned out the best. But the more I look at this Lance painting, the more I see how good it is technically, and also probably it is the best showing off the materials. And finally, I think it's captured the most emotion. And this was only my third time really drawing Lance, and really my first time only drawing him seriously, because the other two times were dumb little doodles. Whereas the other two characters, Ico and Lapis, in the other two characters in the series, Ico and Lapis, I have drawn multiple times. So yay for doing well at drawing my son. So I'm just putting the finishing touches for the first layer of ink on Lance before I go on to paint the earth. For the sea on the earth, I use a wet on wet technique, which basically for non-art people means I put a thin wash of water down before I apply the ink. And I did this to help spread out the pigment, but also to desaturate it a little bit. So you notice in this piece, as with many of my other pieces I've done, I kind of go back and forth with what part of the piece I'm working on. Like, instead of going and painting the other ocean, I go back and darken the hair and add face details, and that's just kind of how I work. Of course, it is a lot of how you kind of have to work when it comes to wet media, especially paint. But I think also I've learned enough about myself that if I spend too long on one thing, I can get burnt out. So I go back and forth to keep myself invested in what I am doing. So now I'm filling in the other ocean, and then I go back in and add more ink to the blue parts of his armor because I want them to be some of the brightest parts in the piece. Of course, with doing tonal work, it's always a balancing act because you don't want to add too much to an area, then a darker or more saturated area won't be as prominent as you want it to be, but I think I did a good job in the end of balancing the darkness and saturation of the different areas. So now I'm adding more tone to his hair because the hair and quote-unquote blue bits on the armor were definitely the parts of the figure I wanted darkest. But I did want the armor to be brighter, so I was being careful not with the hairs not to add too much. And like I said, I think I did a good job of balancing everything. As you see on Earth, I made the continents lighter. This was to separate them from the ocean, but also to give the ocean a bit more blue to it, to really resemble Earth out in space. Sans cloud, of course. Although I suppose I could have added them in with my white gel pen later, although it may have been cheating on the Art Snacks challenge a little bit more than just the eye highlights, so who knows. So, while I'm filling in the last bit of details here, I wanted to let everybody know that I downloaded Passepartout. And for those of you who don't know, it's like an art game. It's like the Starving Artist Simulator, and you've probably seen some other artists on YouTube play it. But I was really interested in, so I downloaded it, and I've gone through once and recorded myself playing. So I think we'll have one more video this month, and then starting in October, you're gonna get a bunch of videos of Passepartout. So that's gonna take quite a while, because I think I will upload one, maybe 2 videos a week. You know, it all depends on how fast I can get them edited. So you will have more videos than normal, but you're going to have mostly Passepartout for a while. But that's okay, because I hope you guys have fun with it, because I had a lot of fun. I might also have some other videos, just like I don't know if I'm gonna keep doing the twice a month thing on top of that, but maybe if I have something else I want to share, I'll upload that in addition. So yeah, and that should take quite a while. That might, depending on if it's once a week, there's like 12 videos, so that might be through till like January. If it's twice a week, it'll still be quite a while. So, yeah, so you guys can enjoy that, and, uh, oh, and the next video this month, I think, will actually be a sketchbook tour of the book, the notebook that I am painting this piece in. So, yeah, you'll get to see this picture come back. And I guess I'll use the last few seconds of using the ink before I go into the last bit of this video. I'll use it to plug my Instagram and my Tumblr again. Yeah, so they're in the description. You'll get to see this piece and lots of other neat things. And, yeah, on to the pen I am using right now. So now I am filling in the details on my picture with a Zig letter pen. I'm using it to do the shadows and details on the figure, and then I hope you can tell that those are mountain ranges that I'm scratching in there on Earth. I really like this pen. In fact, if you want a full review, stay tuned to the end for a special new feature of my videos where I, this week is starring this pen. So, yeah, just scratching in the last bits of his hair. And then I'm going to be filling in the background of space with this pen. I felt like it went a little dry, even if it was really fine. Probably because this pen is not meant for big areas and to be used so repeatedly. So just keep that in mind. And anyways, just enjoy the last bits of the speed. Well, now it's a drawing instead of a painting, but I guess it's a little of both of this picture. And, like I said, there's a new feature that I'm going to be doing on my videos, and you'll get to see what that is if you stay towards the end. And I will see you on whatever the third Friday is this month. I haven't flipped my calendar yet, so I don't know. But, yeah, thanks for watching. I will see you later. And thanks for putting up with my really annoying lisp because my tongue hurts. Alright, thank you, Peppermint Pals. Bye. Hey there, Peppermint Pal. I never know which way to wave. This is something I'm decided to start kind of doing at the end of my videos, where I review a favorite art product. So, this, since this was a video with that used the Art Snacks box, I decided to choose my favorite art product from the Art Snacks box, and that would be this Zig letter pen. And I don't know, I love the different line variation that you can get with it. And I like the ink. Unfortunately, I thought it was going to be sparkly, because the container is sparkly. It's not sparkly, it's just regular black. But I really like it, and I like the effect that it had on the pictures. I don't know. Well, I think it goes really well with the blue. I really like that whole sketchy effect. So, yeah. If you like ink pens and you like to just try new kinds of ink pens, I would definitely recommend this one. And it comes apart. The box sent the container for it and then an ink cartridge. So I'm guessing when I run out, I'll just get a refill on the ink cartridge and I can keep this container. But yeah, so, really good for inking. Mostly pretty thin lines, but you can have a little bit of variation on that. So out of 10, I would probably give this product, I'd probably give it about an 8, because it does, sometimes it feels like it's dry, but there's still plenty of ink in there. So, and to be fair, I was doing a lot of like background stuff, and that's when it started feeling dry, and maybe it doesn't do the big areas too well, but it's really good for fine lining. So, yeah, if you want to get a really good fine liner, you can check out the Zig letter pen. Thanks for watching. Bye.